Spider Woman, the Creator. Your thoughts in a web have covered the sky. A thread from the northeast is carrying beads from the rain. A thread from the southeast is carrying beads from the rain. A thread from the northwest is carrying beads. A thread from the southwest is bringing the beads of the rain that has filled up the sky. Spider, you have woven a chain, stretching with rain over the sky. Zarath's star. Walking changes as dusk starts to gather. We are not able or sure anymore. We don't know the path. And if we did know it, we wouldn't go on. We're afraid of the dark, lowering its heavy, long familiarity down on the grass. We're afraid of the night, motionless, desert, California, making us stumble. We shouldn't be lost, out here like demons, just at the border that touches us solid, as if we were gone. She's leading me on a path as narrow as sisters can share. We pound back down the mesa. Each of our feet finds its own way, delving into the gully whose trees never answer, until, with steps slapping soft as bandits, I slow on the path, imagining horses. Stretching necks right out of the stones, out of the dusk where dark has achieved our bodies, drawn by the strides that my sister takes like a rider. Zarath's star, Fashan, Kashmir, Arabian horses raise her up with motionless shadow so she can ride. Like a rider she walks, cantering, encompassing the pace of the mountain. Out in the landscape, to curl or be curled in, hunched like riders or curling like brides. Under the fairy tale oaks of the mesa that hide sleeping children or horses inside. We talk about horses like hers, who run carefully with thinner ankles and mustangs, who fast, wild grown, wild on the path to blackness, hunger like stars reaching down for dark leaves. Root. A wealth of burning rawness, dropped like fruit. A weight on shoulders, forced and made to spin. A heartbeat, thick as rain, that finds no root. A long, dark staircase, blighted at the root. A kiss so hard, no love got twisted in. A wealth of burning rawness, dropped like fruit. A pomegranate in a basement. Fruit ready and open as seed might have been. A heartbeat, thick as rain, that finds no root. A taste, cigars, deep in my new tongue's root. A harsh hand, huge, against my smoothest skin. A wealth of burning rawness dropped like fruit from a moment sweet with anger, forced like fruit on skin, seared into mine, foreign kin, a heartbeat, thick as rain that finds no root. More mother loss, more orphan come to root, more body broken, one more broken in. A wealth of burning rawness dropped like fruit, fruit of terror, root in this lost body, decades, deep like sin. A wealth of burning rawness dropped like fruit, a heartbeat. The next two poems I'll read are from a series inspired by Judy Chicago's monumental feminist art installation, The Dinner Party at the Brooklyn Museum of Art. It features 39 historically important women who are honored with, each of them honored with a very elaborate ceramic place setting using labia-like imagery. And this is Sappho. Stems in the sky, cool and trusting, open in innocence, curled open to open the feeling flames of the labia, furled out in the pressure of healing. Defiant simplicity hurled further to bring out the dusting of touch in one offering, reeling fuchsia in love, then the lusting. And here's Emily Dickinson's plate. How could open praying hands curve like the rings of a tree from lace? How could a shell made of satin claim to open a collar for the goddess's face, the neutral complexity of a name? Mighty on the beach is the ringlet's trace, the fluted scallops of the guiding bands, open like a lion with no one to tame, far from the nature of the sands. Prayer at low tide. The wealth of distance carries me. My feet become the land. My mind becomes the seagull toes that trace the muddy sand. Make me, my goddess, small and firm, like shell, seaweed, or leaf, like arrowed footprints pointing towards the ocean's cold relief. Take me, held closely to your chest, whose heartbeat's icy calm remembers nothing but the breast that brings the flotsam home. And this is a riddle. It was written for the Anthology of Riddles, edited by Kate Light and Catherine Barnes. So I'll take guesses to the answer after the poem. It's called Riddle. I have roots, but I grow no leaves. I sprout, but I have no seed. Pull me, and I won't stretch. Cut me, and I won't bleed. Mowed down again and again, I can hardly feel death's sting. Though I mark the young from the old, my winter has no spring. Any guesses? Yep. Hair, you got it.
Sorry, it's very close to my heart. It's grappling with the lungs.
So this is about a different body part. This is called Vajra. Jeweled and ready, hung with your passion's garlands, hard and steady, certain to bloom with love. You're my compass. You're my encircled island. Stand for me the way only you and I stand, satin-headed, winking with love we wove, jeweled and ready, hung with your passion's garlands, strong as land is, rocked by one kissing ocean, sweet as hope is, turned in a wilding night. Your cock carries history's golden shadows wreathed around it, laurels that bead the night, held and lost and fought over till the morning lends it, finally, to the accepting light. Stand for me the way only you and I stand, satin-headed, winking with love we wove, jeweled and ready, hung with your passion's garlands. I am she. The native land is marked sometimes with seeking, more shape than pattern, clay hill or dug sand, and I am marked sometimes with an unplanned, unprecedented unfulfillment, weeping. Hit me with heavy harvests ripe for reaping, sting me with uncombed honey. Let no man touch me again until I have a hand steady enough to hold him in its keeping. For I am earth to silence. I am she warmed by the sky's white horses as they ride over the ridge and back again to violence, pouring their pity down my feeble side. And I am their footprints, deep as I'm meant to be. So, after the conversation on occasional poems, I'm going to read a little short one and a little longer one. This is the Tidal Power. It was written for the Ocean Renewable Power Company in Eastport, Maine. The Tidal Power is a wonderful facility that uses the power of the tides. The tidal power out and in. The powers of the tide are turbine beautiful and loud. They take the wind in stride. They turn the language of the moon into a string of pearls that wisely rises through the sea. A mineral tongue unfurls, and richness turns the tide that we will turn to turn the world. This is the invocation written for Eve Ensler's 1 Billion Rising rally in 2014. And this was a global rising of women on Valentine's Day, the day. This is the invocation for the 1 Billion Rising. Rise with me, water, earth, air, and fire. Women rise in our desire. Earth, air, fire, and water, women rise to help our daughters. Air, water, fire, earth, women, bring ourselves to birth. Fire, water, earth, and air, women rise. Women dare, for the mothers and grandmothers, for the future and the past, for the ancestors and children. Women rising now at last. I am all the women, pregnant and ashamed. I am all the women raped and afraid. I am all the women over centuries of fear in the water of our tears, drawn to drown in the breast of the water. Now 1 billion of us are rising, rising, rising. 1 billion of us are rising through the water. I am all the women in the earth of the graves, raped and afraid in the earth of the graves, murdered and hidden in the earth of the graves, silent and gone in the earth of the graves, beaten and thrown down to the earth of our strength where we stand together now. 1 billion of us are rising, rising, rising. 1 billion of us are rising, through the earth. I am all the women silenced in the air. No running from my feet, no words on my tongue, no learning from my ears, nothing spoken, nothing sung. Silence in the air where the Father God reigns. I am all the women with my wings open, rising at last in the wind of our strength, all of us together in the queendom of air, 1 billion of us rising, 1 billion of us are rising through the air. And I am all the women burned in the fire, young girls in India burning alive, widows and mothers gone to the fire, witches and wise women lost to the fire. From the centuries of rage, let the power of our fire move us ever stronger, higher, through the fire of witches burning, through the fire of hearths we tended, through the fire of our anger, to the fire of our spirits, to the fire of our love. 1 billion of us are rising, 1 billion of us are rising through the fire. Fire, earth, air, and water, women rise to help our daughters. Water, earth, air, and fire. Women dare, women desire. For the mothers and grandmothers, for the future and the past, for the ancestors and children, women rising now at last. 1 billion of us are rising, 1 billion of us are rising now. I'll close with 2 poems invoking the spirit of poetry on this gathering and on all of you. I've enjoyed being here so much. The participant reading today was magnificent in its diversity and its power. And I send you just all amazing blessings for your year in poetry. This is an invocation to Bridget, the goddess of poetry in the Celtic tradition. Cauldron of poetry, healing, and flame, huntress of solitude, animals' birth, queen of the oceans, the foam's fertile breath, goddess of grain, all the food, all the earth, champion of fury, war, loss, change, and death, dancer of music and grace and of mirth, spider of change and the word and the name, you who descend to a stronger rebirth, compassionate mother, the many, the same. Blessing on the poets. Patient earth diggers, impatient fire makers, hungry word takers, and roving sound lovers, sharers and savers, musers and acres, you who are open to hide or uncover. May language's language, the silence that moves under each word, move you over and over, turning you, wondering, back to surprise.